Welcome to another edition of Classic Car Secrets. I'm Jason, and I'm going to talk to you a little bit about Moser rear ends and why we run them. On so many of these classic cars, you can still get the original rear ends and have them rebuilt, but it's cost prohibitive, right? You got to try to find an original 12-bolt housing, get a posi, get gears, and build it. So for us, Moser rear ends has been the way to fly. This example here is a Moser 12-bolt rear end. You can see the diff, right? 12 bolts, count them. Replacing the 10-bolt that came out on this 67 GTO. We'll show you in a minute. What's nice about the Moser rear ends is you can order a factory style 12-bolt to fit your application, or a 9-inch to fit your application, or almost any kind of muscle car or any other custom combination. So for example, this is for a 67 GTO, so they put on the proper lower trailing arm brackets for us, the upper ears, so it'll bolt right into that car. 67 GTO is narrower than the 68 to 72s, so they get us our width that we need. Bam, done. They're so much stronger because all their welds are phenomenal. The thickness of their axle tubes is a lot fatter than we had originally. One of the things that we really like about these upgraded rear ends is the upgrades. So a traditional GM would have a C-clip right here, and a little C-clip would hold it right here, and that's all that held the axle in, right? This uses a flange design with a big bearing forward and a flange bracket that holds it in. So that way, when it's bolted in, it'll stay in, right? We can see the example over here where we've got our nice bracketry here. The brake holds it in, but also we're sandwiching here based on this big bearing forward design. Had you had a C-clip and you broke a C-clip, I don't know if you've ever seen this, but imagine what this does coming out while you're driving down the road. All bad. So upgrades, upgrades, upgrades. Big fat axles. This is a 33 spline. They go as big as a 35. Brand new posi, brand new gears. You can choose any set you want, ranging from what, 255 to 456, I guess would be kind of the range I would live in. Usually we're in that 350 to 370 range. On this one, we went with the 33 spline axles. We did a US gear and we did a Yukon posi. This is kind of the best value, best, strongest kind of kit that they make that's a non-race application. You can also go like a true track, a wave track. In my opinion, they can be a little clunky for like a traditional street car, but if it's going to be a hot rod and you're going to beat on it, upgrade to that. So bigger axles, better welds, many options. They do a chrome cover. They also do an aluminum cover that's a girdle support that actually encompasses the rear to make it stronger. On this one, you can see a nice billet yoke. We went with that 1350 yoke. So of course our drive shaft's gonna come all the way out and be bulletproof all the way through. These Moser rear ends also come, we talked about how they come specific for your vehicle. There's so many custom changes on these too, right? So this is gonna go on a stock rear setup with a stock coil spring. If you know that you're gonna run coilovers, they can do a different bracket here. They can eliminate this. You can do poly bushings, you can do traditional bushings, you can do Delrin bushings. Any way you want to order it, they'll do it. And they're amazing. 2 days build time, 1 week to ship. So you got to ship it from Indiana, which is a little expensive out here to the West Coast. But in terms of bang for the buck, this is the way to fly. It had a 10-bolt, so we're upgrading all the control arms and sway bar, and we want to have a 12-bolt in here. The problem with these Buick Olds Pontiacs, if you will, is they have a traditional stock rear end, and when you come look at these rear ends, they just don't have any upgradable gears. They don't have any good posis. The aftermarket just doesn't service them. So although we have a brand new painted, shiny, perfect rear end, it's kind of useless because it's not going to be able to hold up to the power that we're putting in this car. So like I said, we do a lot of Moser rear ends. This is a random video taken on a random day, and we're doing 1, 2, 3, count them, different Mosers right now. We showed you the GTO. This is a 67 Chevelle, and I'll show you a 9-inch in another Chevelle. So in this Chevelle, you get to see the rear end installed, right? We build all our own brake lines, come up here to the tabs that they already pre-welded for us, and then we can do our flex lines out to our calipers. Factory brackets, so we can use a factory style arm. Obviously this is a tubular arm, but factory design, factory coilovers, factory style shock. Of course, everything's upgraded, but it gives you a good feel for what these rear ends look like in these cars, and it looks like an original 12-bolt. 70 Chevelle with a 9-inch in it. So this is a Moser 9-inch as well. This customer didn't want the 12-bolt, he wanted something stronger. So the 9-inch has 35 spline axles in it. You notice Moser does a great job again. Chevelle bracketry, right? Bolts right in. Later he'll change his arms. Drain plug, fill plug, nice setup. They're vented well. Super duper strong case. Up here, if you come to the front, you see this nodular third member with the billet support and a billet 1350 yoke. So for those of you that want something stronger than the 12 bolt, the 9-inch is your way to fly. So you Mopar guys don't feel left out, I want to make sure you know that Moser also does a Dana rear end. So for your Mopar applications like this CUDA or E-body, you can get a Dana. You can also get a Dana rear end to fit in a Camaro, trucks, all of the above. So yes, as a matter of fact, this car does have a Dana.